North Carolina, mountain views, an awesome coast, lots of good jobs and great schools, and a low cost of living. It has the Great Smokies on one side and the Outer Banks on the other side. You can see why people from all over are moving to the Tar Heel State. There's 10 million people here, and it's the ninth largest state, and it's growing fast. Some say it's the best state in the country. I'd agree. But as always, some cities are better than others, and today we're going to talk about the 10 best places to live in this state, because you might be thinking about moving here. Now, in order to look at the best places to live in North Carolina, we got to look at two things: data and opinion. Now, for the data side, that's easy. We can look at places that have good schools, great jobs, great neighborhoods, and where it's really safe. For the opinion side, well, I live here. I know everything about North Carolina. I can tell you where the good places are. So let's begin a look at the best places to live in North Carolina right now. We're going to begin our tour of the best cities to live in North Carolina with a stop in Raleigh. This is the capital, and there's home to just about 500,000 people. But what makes Raleigh a great place to live? Well, I used to live here, and I know how great it is there. If you want a great job, they can't find enough people to fill all the growing tech, education, and healthcare jobs. It's part of the Research Triangle. It's a bunch of cities that include Chapel Hill and Durham, where you're going to find some of the best universities in the country. Raleigh's pretty cheap still, too, by big city standards. You can still get a 3 or 4 bedroom home here for like $250K, and in nice, quiet neighborhoods. A lot of people who call this area home are young, friendly, diverse, and educated. There's plenty to do here. There's new restaurants and bars popping up all over. There's a bunch of green space, family-friendly museums, a growing art and music scene, and a bunch of concerts and music festivals. And despite the large population, there's still a strong sense of community in Raleigh. People say strangers will strike up a conversation when they're just walking down the street or waiting in line at the store. Well, isn't that nice? Seriously, Raleigh's a great place. Now, the ninth best place to live is Wake Forest. It's about 15 minutes north of Raleigh. There's 42,000 people here. This was once home to Wake Forest University, but they moved to Winston-Salem. It's a small, close-knit community. It's perfect for families and people who want small-town community life. The downtown's awesome and really quiet. There's no homeless people here, that's for sure. There's a lot to do in Wake Forest. There's museums and breweries, but it's kind of a small-town lifestyle. It's different than Raleigh, and it's only 30 minutes away, so you can go to Raleigh if you want fun. Now, like a lot of other places on this list, the median salary for people living here is going to be pretty high, about $92K a year for the family, and homes are about $300K. That's right, Wake Forest is actually more expensive than Raleigh, but you get what you pay for. It's quiet and safe, the schools are good, and like a third of the population has a bachelor's degree. And it's not just for families here either. Wake Forest was also called one of the best places to retire. At number 8 is Elon, outside of the Raleigh area. It's way out by Greensboro and Alamance County. There's 12,000 people here, but it's growing fast. It's home to Elon University, and because it has a lot of college students, it's going to have a young population. The average age here is 22, but Elon's not like a normal college town. It's actually quiet and safe. In fact, it was called the second safest city in the state. Just about everybody in town has a good job, too. People who live here say Elon's a beautiful town with a heart of gold. They say people are always friendly, no matter if you're a friend or a stranger. Maybe everyone's in a good mood because they don't have to sit in traffic. I mean, people who live in Elon have one of the shortest commutes in the state. The only drawback is you'd probably have to drive to Greensboro or Winston-Salem for work, and those places are not very charming. For being such a small town, there's actually a lot to do in Elon. There's cute little restaurants and coffee shops and places to shop. If you're looking for live music, you can find a lot of locals at the Fat Frog on the weekends. And no, the Fat Frog did not pay me to say that. Now, the 7th best place to live is going to be way out in Pinehurst, down in the Sandhills region. It's about an hour southwest of Raleigh. There's not a lot around here, but Pinehurst itself is awesome. There's only about 16,000 people here, and it kind of feels exclusive. The location's great. I mean, you're 2 hours from the beach and 2 hours from the mountains, but you're kind of isolated way out in no man's land. Of course, Pinehurst is kind of a golfing community. The village is home to some of the most famous golf courses in America, including Pinehurst Resort, which has hosted a bunch of tournaments, including 3 U.S. Opens. Pretty much everybody here is retired or has a good high-income job. A lot of people work from home. Now, if you don't have a job outside of healthcare and hospitality, there's not a lot of options. You better bring work with you. And believe it or not, there's actually areas in Pinehurst that are still sort of affordable. I mean, the median home price here is $293K, and property taxes aren't that bad either. Overall, Pinehurst is easy to get around. It's super family friendly, and there's activities for kids, and there's a vibrant culture, but it's probably more of an older crowd. At number 6, Chapel Hill. Hey, I used to live in Chapel Hill. I know a lot about Chapel Hill. It's about 30 minutes from Raleigh and 15 minutes from Durham, which sucks. But again, it's part of the Triangle area in the Raleigh metro area. There's 60,000 people in Chapel Hill, and of course, it's home to the nation's first public university, the University of North Carolina, which has the best sports in the country. So because of that, there's a lot of young people in town. However, it's also kind of a retirement community, or it seems like it. Feels like if you're in your 30s or 40s, there's not going to be a lot of people your age. Everyone's either 25 or 65 in Chapel Hill. And it's really expensive. I mean, Orange County has like the highest taxes in the state, and the home prices are the 5th most expensive in the state too, at like $400,000. But you get what you pay for. It's really, really safe. The schools are the best in the state, and 3 in 4 people here have a college degree, so a lot of people are smart. You can't go wrong with Chapel Hill if you can afford it. For fun, it's going to be mostly wandering around on Franklin Street down near UNC's campus. There's a bunch of shops and places to eat. There's all sorts of stuff going on campus every single day. Chapel Hill is a great place to live. Now, Holly Springs is about 20 minutes from Chapel Hill. It's also in the Triangle region. There's 35,000 people here, but this place has almost doubled in the last 5 years. They can't build homes fast enough here. If you want to live somewhere that's really safe in the middle of the Triangle area, Holly Springs is a good choice. It was also voted as the best place to raise a family in the whole state. Again, the schools are great, it's super safe, it's really pretty, and it's really not even that expensive, relatively speaking, for where you're from. And even though it's grown fast here, Holly Springs still kind of feels like a small town. I mean, there's plenty to do here. The city just invested $100 million for public infrastructure, for parks and recreation and shopping and dining. They have free concerts in the summer, and they have holiday festivals in the winter. Now, right next door is Morrisville. Are we seeing a pattern here? Just about all the best places to live are going to be in the Raleigh metro area. Morrisville has about 25,000 people here, and it's also growing really fast. And just like the other places on this list, it's going to be super family friendly. Half of the households have kids, and the public schools are in the top 5% in the state. They also have the 10th lowest high school dropout rate in the state too. 2/3 of Morrisville residents have a bachelor's degree. That's more than double the state average, people. And you hardly ever hear about crime here. They have the 3rd lowest violent crime rate in the state. And there's great tech jobs all over the place. Like, you could drive 10 minutes to work. There's that many good tech jobs in Morrisville, and healthcare jobs too. Now, Morrisville is going to be a little bit more expensive than some of the other areas in the Triangle. It's about $350K for a home on average, but the good ones are going to be closer to $400K. Right next door is Apex. Now, they call this place the peak of good living. The schools are great. There's a charming downtown, and lots of people are involved here. If you don't have a job in Apex, it's because you don't want a job. Everybody in Apex has a good career and earns pretty good money. It's going to be a little bit cheaper to live here than next door, but that's because it's more spread out and doesn't really have a center of a downtown in Apex. Homes are about $330K, but they're going up all the time, people. I know there's people in California that are like, wait, I can pay half as much for a house and have twice as much safety? Yes, you can. Like Morrisville, Apex has one of the best public school systems in the state. Only 2% of adults never finished high school here, and like 40% of people went to college. There's going to be parks here, outdoor activities, farmers markets, and festivals, just like everywhere else we've talked about too. And right next door is Cary. Now, this is the closest suburb to downtown Raleigh. Now, talk about family friendly. This whole place is filled with young families with a bunch of kids. If your kids are into sports, there's endless sporting leagues and things going on the weekends here. It's growing super fast here in Cary because people all over the Midwest and Northeast and even the West Coast who want safety and good schools and property that'll go up in value, they've heard about Cary and they're like, I am moving there. But it's one of the most expensive places to live too because everyone's moving here. There just aren't enough homes. we're talking 400 to 500K. But Cary is the bee's knees, folks. There's tons of parks. There's shopping around every corner. You don't even have to leave Cary. Everything's right in Cary city limits. Schools are great. It's super clean. I mean, it's almost too clean. Parts of Cary are so clean and modern they look fake. People just take pride in living in Cary. I'll tell you that. And where's the best place to live? What's better than Cary? It's actually Davidson, a suburb of Charlotte. Hey, for only the third time, we're outside of the Raleigh metro area. Davidson's a little small college town that's growing really fast. There was 5,000 people here 20 years ago. Now there's like 14,000 people. It's clear that people love living here, though, and they're proud of their town. Everybody here has a great job or they're retired. I mean, the unemployment rate's lowest in the state. It's a college town, home to Davidson College, which is a really beautiful campus. And because it's a college town, half the population has a college degree. There's cute shops everywhere and restaurants, and everybody here is really super friendly. And one of the best parts about living in Davidson? Lake Norman. It's the largest man-made lake in the state, with over 520 miles of shoreline. However, Davidson's going to be pricey. It'll be like $450K for the average home, but $500K for a good home. So there's that. So there you have it. The best cities in North Carolina. They're all going to be places that are really safe, where the schools are good, where there's good jobs nearby, and there's a sense of community. Because in America today, we all want a sense of community. And you'd be lucky to call any of these places home. What are you waiting for, people? Carolina is a state where there's a lot of stuff to do. Carolina is a great place where there's a lot of stuff for you. If you move here, don't go to the places that are bad, 'cause you won't be happy, no you certainly won't. You can find all the fun and the jobs and the areas where it's safe and good. Hey guys, if you learned something new about America or what it's like to live in America, great! You should think about subscribing and turning on your notifications. You can also click one of these videos or playlists for more. You can also now buy my songs on iTunes and other formats. Click the link in the description. Thanks for watching. And remember, while we all might have different views, we should all be nice to each other and try to make the U.S. a better place in a positive way.
This is Sage, Nick's manager. This has been a Corner House Entertainment production.
And are you looking to move and need advice? I do consulting. That's right. I'll sit down and talk about where the next perfect place for you and your family should be. I do it all the time. Together, let's find you a new home that's safe and checks all your boxes. You can get my email in the description to find out how I can help you find your perfect relocation.